Hi, so our group chose Elon Musk and Brand Zegfeld to do the leadership style and approach. First of all, we're going to speak about Elon Musk biography and all his leadership approaches, and then about Brand Zegfeld biography as well, and leadership approach. About Elon Musk biography, he was born on the 28th of June of 1971 in South Africa. His mom was a model. He was son of a rich engineer of South Africa, has a sister and a brother. His father left them when he was about 10 years old, and he decided that it was time for him to learn something new, so he went to computers and he learned how to program by himself. At the age of 12, he sold Blaster. It's a computer game. He suffered from bullying, so he decided to start learning karate. After that, he went to Canada when he finished school. He tried to avoid mandatory service on South Africa, so he just went to study. About his personal life, he was married 2 times. He has 6 children. One of them died in 2002. His first child, he was 2 months old and had a disease called SIDS. He divorced in 2010 and married again in 2012 and got divorced again in 2016. About his learning and business, Musk did an undergraduate course in economics on Queen's in Canada. He did a bachelor on physics and business from Pennsylvania University in California. Then he started a PhD in 1995, but he gave up because he found that creating Zip2 Corporation was more interested for his life. So he created that with his brother. He sold the company for 34 million stock options and $307 million in 1999. He, with the money that he received from Zip2, created PayPal that was founded, and he gained the first billion with selling that to eBay in 2002, selling for $1.5 billion. He still, in these days, owns 11% of the company. So after that, he decided to found SpaceX in 2002. He said on his biography book that the intention of building the spacecraft for commercial space travel. In 2008, NASA awarded the company and started a contract for the launch of astronauts to the space to search for a new planet that we can all move in. And nowadays he's building a space shuttle to start the colonization of the red planet, and he wants to do that in 2022. He found Tesla Motors as well. He's the co-founder, CEO, architect. He started in 2003. His mission was to create affordable cars, electrical with solar panels that he can sell to people that is not too expensive, and they're being like sustainable for everyone. In 2010, he made $210 million raised when he did a partnership with Toyota. And then he had some issues with the manufacturer because he set some goals higher than he actually could afford. So he had to change the leadership. He created as well a company called Boring that was founded in January of 2017 and had the goal to build tunnels, roads, and the point was for people to avoid the traffic that was in big cities. They created the company with a specific goal. However, they found a contract with Las Vegas Convention for 48.7 million, and was to build a loop to take people all over the town way easier. He has some other projects that he likes to work on it, like Hyperloop. He's interested in Neuralink as well, that it's for a non-profitable research for artificial intelligence and high-speed trains. He also met President Donald Trump to help with some projects that he has to get better for community on the US.
Hello everyone, my name is Ante and I will talk about transformational leadership for the Elon Musk. So leaders are those people who motivate other people to work together and accomplish things. Leadership is the ability of an individual to influence, motivate, and enable others to contribute towards the effectiveness and success of the organization. So central relationship here is the relationship between the leaders and the followers. According to Yukel, a leader is a person with the responsibility to perform the specialized relationship role, and other members are called followers. So, transformational leadership is the kind of leadership that influence the crucial attitudes and beliefs of an organization's members to achieve goals. It was firstly introduced by James Burns in 2078. So he described the transactional and transformational leadership as the opposites. So many people see Elon Musk as a transformational leader due to his vision, dedication, and perseverance. We can all admit that he is one of the greatest and the most creative leaders of our time. Furthermore, he can make the other people believe in his vision, especially his employees. They can also say that he inspires his employees. So with launching electric cars and the SpaceX Falcon, he introduced a new way of thinking and a new philosophy in industry that has almost been abandoned. As one of the examples for his leadership approach, we have a report from Dolly Singh in 2013. He was the former HR head of the SpaceX company, and in this example he described the situation in SpaceX when Elon Musk said to his employees the failure in leadership would have destroyed the company. And this is where the Singh described that he saw this was one of the most impressive acts of leadership he had ever seen in Elon Musk. Elon Musk also said, for his part, he would never give up, and that is his way to encourage people and his employees in his companies. So, Elon Musk is the leader who sometimes acts very unusual. He earns the trust of others by being predictable and reliable. For example, one time he spent $10 million of his own money because his company was under pressure and due to all the critics. And another time he invested $100 million into his electric car company because of the financial difficulties. So because of all of this, we can say that Elon Musk is a transformational leader, and transformational leadership is the most effective in the time of the crisis and uncertain situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ante. For my part, I will give you another approach that Elon Musk is going to be. It can be said that Elon Musk matched with style approach. In terms of style approach, Northouse stated that to consider what the leaders do for helping their group members to achieve and how leaders act. It can comprise of two general kinds of behavior. The first one is task behavior, and the second one is relationship behavior. So let's start with task behavior. Task behavior can understand with how the leader help group members achieve objective. Elon Musk is representative of this approach because he is a working hard person. According to my research, I found that Elon Musk is working usually for 6 days per week, and sometimes he works for 7 days. Because he's trying to make his best and force people to do the best. To support this state, it can look at the SpaceX project that he worked with his senior technical people for 70 to 80 hours a week for launching the Falcon 1. So, for doing the achievement, Elon Musk is also considered to the people and their skills. It can be said that he put the right man to the right job, according to his quote. I think you definitely don't want to grow too fast. Make sure that every person you hire, you really need to hire that person. So, this is correlated with the theory about how Elon Musk concerned to achieve his object. Furthermore, Elon Musk also had created challenge and motivated because he has not accepted no, as he said that failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are innovating enough. Elon Musk showed his state as a SpaceX after first 3 launches failed. And in addition, he has a strong, wily visionary, which is he has various companies such as SpaceX, PayPal, Tesla, SolarCity, and Zip2. Next, it will look at relationship behavior. For this behavior, it could say that how the leadership help team members feel comfortable with themselves and each other. For this area, it could say that he cannot doing well because, as we have already known that Elon Musk always focus on the best result, it seems like he quite push pressure to his staff. For example, Sai share her experience on Quora that when you are working with Elon Musk, it's not comfortable experience because he is never satisfied with himself, so he is never really satisfied with anyone around him. Another example is Musk fire young engineer without any reason to explain. For this example, it seems like he doesn't concern on relationship behavior. As a result, it can be said that he matched with task behavior. Moreover, his purpose lead to more concern to production than people. So now let's look at Molten Blake general style to show that Elon Musk is more concerned for production than the people. For this area, rules and punishment, it can match with the fire and engineer case, and it can be linked to improvise to notice his staff avoid doing mistakes. On the other hand, for the team which aim for win-win outcome, although the staff working hard with him, I cannot find any information about the reward or complimentary to his staff. It can be reflected that Elon Musk only concerned for production. Now I will turn over you to Emma for the next part.
Hi, I'm introducing Ring Junfei. For personal, he was born in 1944 and in 1982 he became a representative of the 12th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, and in 1987 he established Huawei Technologies company, and in 1988 he became the president of Huawei. And in 2005 he was selected as one of the 100 most influential people in the United States by Times Magazine, and in 2010 won 1.42% stake in Huawei and was worth $450 million. And in 2011, Ren Zhengfei entered the Forbes rich list for the first time with $1.1 billion in US, ranking number 1,153 in the world and number 92 in China. And 2015, in Forbes Chinese rich list, he was in the 3,050th and ranked 1,041 in the global rich list. And in 2019, he had a new worth of US dollars in 1.3 billion. When he was in the company, the first concern is the customer. He shared responsibilities and interests with the colleagues and set everyone to be like a boss. The important thing to notice that is the only talented people are eligible to participate. And for the army background, he attributed to his spirit of working hard for battle and survival.
Okay, everyone. Before we talk about Ren Zhengfei's transformational leadership, we want to make a comparison with traditional leadership. So Bohr's leadership type theory shows that the traditional leadership is developed based on the exchange or transactional leadership theory. Its main features are equity, rewards, penalties, and expectation management. It doesn't care about too much of the employees' future development or emphasize exchange. The main characteristics of transformational leadership are 4I. They can successfully motivate employees to cooperate and work together. It also can be seen that transformational leadership is a two-way interactive process that enables employees to change from ask me to do to I want to do. Now we are moving to the four main factors of transformational leadership. First one is idealized influence or charisma, which desires leaders who act as strong role models for followers. With 14 years military experience, Ren Zhengfei has become a very firm and honest person who likes challenging. He founded work culture to inspire staff to continually breaking through and overcome difficulties at work. We have an example. In 2018, Ren Zhengfei issued a ticket of 1 million yuan just for himself because he didn't satisfy with company's management. This action has received the greatest respect from his staffs. Next is inspirational motivation. It refers to leaders who communicate high expectations to followers. Huawei's basic laws passed in 1999. This basic law clearly defines company's mission and vision. It is with such a good way to Huawei employees, they can clearly understand the future development and know how to carry out the groundbreaking work, which enhance staff's confidence in completing goals and tasks. It turns out his work in 2020, we can see Huawei became one of the top 10 most valuable brands in the world. Huawei is here. Next, we are coming to intellectual stimulation, which means leaders support followers to try new methods or develop innovation ways of dealing with organization's issues. Early since 1998, Ren Zhengfei began to combine IBM company's experience to build the IDP and ISC system in his company, which optimized Huawei's production process. Look at recent years. At first Huawei Connect 2019, Huawei released Atlas 900, the world's fastest AI training cluster, to accelerate the intelligent process of scientific research and business innovation. The last part, individualized consideration. This refers to the leaders who provide a supportive climate while they can listen carefully to their followers. On one hand, Huawei implemented the employee stock ownership plan to realize dreams of staff. Besides, Huawei built its online community called Aspiration Community, which can enable staff to experience their opinions, then enhance the personal consideration on that platform. Okay, but on the other hand, Ren Zhengfei is not perfect. He has shortcomings. He is also famous for his strict requirements on his employees. Huawei's famous work culture is too radical, which has brought tremendous pressure to staffs. The customer-first service spirit sometimes even threatens employees' life. Mental stress will reduce the enthusiasm of employees and affect the follow-up motivation of the company. That's it. Hello everyone, I'm Ian Kang Zhou. Today I will use the skill approach to analyze Ren Zhenfei. The skill approach has the three skills. First is technical skills, and the second is human skill, and third is conceptual skills. First, let me talk about the technical skills. Technical skills proficient in center the type of the works and knowledge and skills in related fields. Ren's learned the computer digital technologies automotively controlled by himself, and Ren was a construction engineer in his early years. He created a number of innovations patent in a simple environment and developed in first higher precision measurement standard instrument air precision balance in China. Ren Zhenfei himself highly possessed technique talents. He believes that people who don't know the technology take over the future of the company. And the second, we will talk about human skills. Human skills, the ability of the good and communicating with others, have a good interpersonal relationship. Ren good at supporting young and skilled talents, not judge the talents by their age and the qualifications. And the company's financial difficulties still the R&AMPD tax to the young Zheng Baoyong teams. He lived and ate with that team, and encountered difficulty in this team, and Ren still to believe that Zheng Baoyong can success in using, and then finally they are successful in developing C08, the digital remote switch. Ren have the heart of the cherishing the talents, the treat talents with tolerance and understanding. Li Yinan and Huawei's earlier the technical genius and made great the contribution to Huawei research and development. However, due to his arrogance, he took more than the 10 millions of Huawei's companies to start a new business. As a result, due to his poor management, the companies faced the dilemma of bankrupt. At this time, Ren Zhenfei did not gloat but reappointed the Li Yinans regardless of the past. And then finally, I will talk about conceptual skills. Conceptual skills, ability to set the direction for the company's the development and the positions. Ren want to develop the programs, control switches, and the initial stage of Huawei, but strongly opposed by the company's management. At that time, Huawei has its own local switches, and the market reactions was very good that he could not cover his comfort in front of his eyes by insert of rich research and development for the long-term considerations of the company. Ren had the idea of safe-developed system a long time ago. He believed that the core basics, the CAPD, is the lifeblood of technology companies. When Huawei is facing the competitions of Google's shortages, is in danger. Its response is not overnight, but Huawei's 15 years of excellence in RCMD, which has attracted ridiculous from its chip research earlier to become the leader in 5G industry today, is largely due to the Ren's innovative spirit. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So for the conclusion, we decided to write about some similarities and the differences between Musk and Zhenfei. So the first thing is that they are both willing to sacrifice their time and the money for their company and their employees. They're also inspired by the innovation, that means the technology and the processes in their company. Also, they are willing to spend time to motivate their employees, especially Elon Musk, we can see that. And while Elon Musk is very friendly to his employees, Ren is famous for his strict approach and pressures on his employees. Thank you very much, and here is the list of our references. And with that, we can conclude our presentation. Thank you.